people who are feeling stress in their head, headaches. This is meant for people who might be going through some migraines right now. Anything, that has to do with the nervous system and feeling pain in the head, this is what it's for. And I'm really excited for it because that means we aren't moving as much today. We aren't doing a lot of really big movements. Therefore, if you feel called to practice today, grab some light, nice and long shirts, sweaters to stay warm. If you haven't had one of my classes yet, I'm honored that you're here. And usually my classes are very, very diverse and different each time. So this time, what makes it different is we have an eye patch or an eye mask to place over the head at the end of the class. And basically because this yoga class is made for stress and migraines, we want to calm the nervous system. So we're going to start out on a pillow if you have one. I have my handy dandy meditation pillow right there. But if you want to use something softer, fluffier, you can do that too. And I recommend having some water by your side. Other than that, if you're just joining, please let me know if this connects with you. Let me know where you're watching from, and we'll get started. So we'll start on our pillows here, seated. You can probably hear my heater right there. It's kind of cold. We have a snowstorm today in Montreal, in Canada, so we're going to stay nice and warm during your practice today. But once you find a comfortable seated position, you can cross your legs however you'd like. I like to have a pillow so that my knees are slightly lower than my hips, and it kind of helps with circulation in that way. We're going to start with just placing the hands on the knees, settling into a seated position. And when you're ready, and when you feel comfortable, you may close down the eyes. We're going to start taking some deep breaths into the nose, out the nose. Something very, very small, very simple. And all we're doing is bringing attention to the breath. And if you're coming in here with a headache, with any pain, any discomfort, normally we like to furrow our eyebrows. So go ahead and intentionally relax your forehead, your scalp, your head in general. Maybe you can even relax the back of the ears, which is a very subtle thing to do. And then we'll be placing our hands together. We're going to start creating some heat with our hands. So just rub your hands hard until you create enough heat within your hands. Just a little bit longer. And then we're going to place them over our eyes. Keep the eyes closed. Go ahead. Place them over the eyes. Just gently feeling the heat from the hands. If you'd like to try that again, we'll go ahead. If not, you can place your hands on your knees. Heating up the palms. And placing the heat over the eyes. And go ahead, lower the hands back down onto the knees. We're going to move into doing some pranayama. This will help the nervous system greatly. So we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. We'll be placing the second and third finger together onto the forehead, where the third eye would be. So just above the space between your eyebrows. And then you're going to use your thumb and your ring finger to close each side of the nose. Don't do it at the same time, but we'll start with closing the left nostril, breathing in through the right. Close the right with your thumb. Open the left. Exhale. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Continue like that on your own, taking your time to breathe deeply. If your nose is clogged, you could just keep the hands over your forehead like this without closing each side of the nostrils. And that way we create some space, some separation between the inside world that we're creating and the rest of the world. We're taking a moment to pause and connect with how we're feeling, creating some sacredness for our practice, and slowing down the body, slowing down the nervous system. Continue as you were. Let's continue and do about 4 more nostril breathings on each side. Try to inhale and exhale for 5 seconds long. Going for our last one, inhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Slowly lower down the hands and return back to your normal breathing. In and out of the nose. Now, before we continue our practice, usually when we're feeling this type of discomfort, we tend to clench the jaw, to clench even the eyes. So when you notice yourself doing this, just bring attention to it, observe what's going on, and see if you can relax those muscles or those bones, using the power of the mind to target where the pain is coming from and attaching or attacking the source. When you're ready, begin to open up the eyes, gaze down at the floor to start, and then slowly start to open the eyes, gaze up. Welcome back. All right, we'll pull out the pillow from underneath and we'll be moving on to the next step. For this next one, we're going to be doing a lot of crossing of the legs and arms. Therefore, whatever level you're at, please allow yourself to be challenged, but also know the limits of your body. So the first option will just be to cross the legs as such. The next option is to do fire log pose, placing the feet right over or right under your knees. It's possible that one knee lifts up really high. That might be that your hips are really tight. That's also fine. If you need a block or a pillow under the hips, that can also be really helpful. So that is the second variation. And then the third variation is placing the knees stacked, one over the other. So whatever works, find that. And as we place the knees one over the other, a great opportunity is to place the thumbs at the soles of the feet and placing a bit of pressure right in the center. And that really targets the hormones, it targets the nervous system. There's just so many nerves that accumulate right there. So this is going to help target whatever is going on in your head. It all connects. So let's take a few breaths here. If you're placing your feet over the knees, or you have your legs just in crisscross applesauce, you're welcome to keep the hands on the knees or in your laps. We're going to inhale, extend the spine up. Imagine someone is pulling you, the top of the head pulling you towards the ceiling, and your spine gets longer and longer every time. As that happens, keep your chin tucked in towards the chest. And we're going to breathe deeply. Make sure the tailbones, both of them, are sitting on the floor. So if you have some extra booty, some extra glutes, you can just move that out of the way. And then that will help you elongate the spine even more. Keep applying pressure in the soles of the feet if you have that. We're going to take 3 last deep breaths. In through the nose. This time, exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. You can make some sound. Last time, inhale. Sigh it out. Beautiful. Return to your normal breathing. Go ahead and open up the eyes if you had them closed. And we're going to use some eagle arms. So because we have our right leg over the left, we're going to do the opposite with the arms. We're going to have the left arm over the right as such, and then lift the elbows up. As you're doing this, so clearly I'm moving to the side so you guys can see me talk, but you really want to make space between the elbows and the chest. And as you're doing this, you're not pulling the hands towards the face, you're keeping them directly up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do some forward folds with this. So we're going to inhale, lift the elbows even higher up, drop the head back, and exhale, slowly fold forward, stop where your hips start to lift up off the ground, and then inhale back up. We're going to do that 3 times in total. Inhale up. Exhale down, tuck the chin in. Inhale up. Exhale for the last time. Drop the elbows even further down if you can. And inhale back up. Release the arms. Open the chest, the hands, the elbows, the shoulders. And hug yourself. Round the spine, tuck your chin in towards the chest. And inhale, open the arms. Beautiful. We're going to lower the hands down and we're going to switch sides. We want to be balanced on both sides. So once again, you can either cross the legs or place the feet over the knees or under, fire log pose, or go for that more intense leg stretch. So here we're really intensely opening the hips. We're also rotating all the muscles in the thighs and the hamstrings. So once again, if you have that cake in the back, just make sure that your tailbone is touching the floor. And then if you'd like, placing the thumbs in the soles of the feet. Inhale, extending the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and tucking the chin in towards the chest. Go ahead and take some deep breaths in through the nose, out the mouth. As we're doing this, attempt to relax the lower body. So if your body naturally kind of gets tight, you feel a bit of pressure, try to use your mind, bring the attention to that body part, and see if you can relax it a bit more. Tell it it's okay, your body is just trying to protect you, but you're not in danger. If you feel pain, that's another thing. Just get out of it. But if it's just discomfort, see if you can breathe through it. See if you can use mind over matter. Let's just take 2 more breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. For this last one, I want you really to sigh it out, make noise. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Beautiful. We're going to do the same thing with the arms. So we're going to inhale, open the chest. It's almost like this butterfly effect. And wrap your arms in a different way. Last time you might have hugged yourself with the right over the left. Go ahead and change that. And inhale, open the chest. And switch sides. So we're going to have the right arm over the left. And then lift the elbows up, gaze past your arms. Inhale, gaze up, lift the arms all the way up. And exhale, fold forward slightly. The hips don't leave the ground. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Tuck the chin in. Inhale, last time. Exhale, see if you can lower the elbows further down. And back up. Beautiful. Release the legs. And we're going to do some window washers with these. So dropping the knees side to side, just as such. And then eventually we're going to lower down onto the knees for child's pose. One really great tip, if you're feeling a lot of discomfort and you're feeling like you just want to hide from the world, you can place a pillow or a block or just anything nice and fluffy underneath, and then lower down your forehead. And somehow it creates like an extra safety net for your nervous system. And it also really helps to extend the spine even more. It really helps to visualize how the belly is when it lowers down. Also, allowing some protection to the belly, which if our nervous system is really stimulated, our tendency as survival is to protect the internal organs. So when we do that, we create a lot of safety for ourselves. As we're here in child's pose, there is the option of keeping the knees really wide or together. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when we have the knees together, just like that. And then the arms towards the front of the mat. Then you drop down the forehead. option to bring the hands towards the back of the mat. Maybe the palms facing up. You can even grab the feet in the back. And then I want you to scoot your forehead further up towards the top of the mat so we can elongate the neck. Go ahead and continue the deep breaths. And because of the theme of our class today, I welcome you to apply some pressure in the forehead. While we're literally connected with the ground right now, you're welcome to massage the forehead, lightly rock side to side. It's like a natural gua sha. I don't know if you guys have heard those, but I feel, I have no idea if this is true, but I feel like doing this might help with wrinkles in general. But I'm not a professional in this. Okay, slowly find yourself back to center. And we're going to do a very powerful next move. We're going to place the hands together behind our back. As we do this, push the hands away from the lower back, floating up towards the ceiling. As we do this, I welcome you to move the forehead even further up the mat. So maybe your hips are slightly lifted. And I do this because we're going to inhale, lift the hips up until we're on our forehead, on the top of our head. If you can, I want you to apply pressure, just very slight pressure, at the very center, the very top of the head. Not in front, not behind, but if you can get it, that's the spot. Now, as we're doing this, I want you to continue pushing the floor away, so you're not scrunching up the neck, you're staying protective of any really important parts of the body that you don't want to crack. And you can gaze up between the legs or towards the belly button and continue to push those hands away from the lower back towards the front of the mat. If this is too much for the neck, just lower back down into child's pose. We're going to stay for a few more breaths. And I really want to welcome the idea of only breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, if that brings you more release, if that makes you feel the best. If not, there's always the classical just breathing in and out of the nose. All right, we're going to take our last 3. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Lift the hips higher up if you can. Keep making space for the neck. And exhale slowly, lower back down into child's pose. The hands towards the back. Relax the neck. Make some space between the ears and the shoulders. You can rock onto the forehead once again. And then place your hands on the floor Slowly lift your upper body up, and we're going to separate the knees. From there, we're going to lower back down into child's pose. And we're going to go for thread the needle. So in thread the needle, we're going to inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, under the left arm, lower down onto the right ear. Option to keep that arm overhead or place the opposite hand behind your back. Then you can close down the eyes. It's possible that that connection of the temple bone or the ear with the floor can help with any migraines, help with any headaches. Applying a little bit of that pressure can help relieve some tension sometimes. Let's take 2 more breaths on our own, really allowing for that shoulder to relax fully. Last breath. Slowly bring that left arm overhead. Reach the right arm up. And exhale back down. Other side, left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle to the right side, lower down onto your left ear. Option to wrap the right arm behind your back. As we're doing this, it's really essential that you keep that deep breath going. Last 3 breaths here. Inhale, reach the right arm overhead. Slowly come up onto your knees. We're going to lower down onto the legs. So swivel your legs out in front. Go ahead and window wash the knees once again, dropping the knees side to side. And we'll be going for some Paschimottanasana, some forward fold with no bind. So Paschimottanasana is legs forward, spine straight, and then folding forward. However, because we have no bind, we really want to fall into that relaxation instead and calming the nervous system. You don't have to create a bind. You can place a pillow under the belly if that helps for you to fold forward easier. You can always place yourself right next to a wall as well. Place the back onto the wall and then try to fold forward if that helps. And also using a strap right in front of the feet is an option too if you do want to bind and then pulling forward. But as you see here, I'm just going to show you guys with the pillow first. Just folding forward gently. It's not anything fancy at all. And then with no pillow, it would look like this. Not getting out any extra tissue, any glutes out of the way. And then you can even bend the knees if that's more accessible to you, and then folding forward. If you would like more of a challenge or you want more of a sensation in the back, you can clasp the fingers together behind the head, right at the base of the skull. And then not applying any pressure, just allowing the weight of the upper body to pull you down. But it's important that as you're doing this, you're still imagining that someone's pulling a string from the top of the head forward. So you're not fully rounding your back 100%. But what we're doing is trying to engage the body in folding forward without having to fully do it 100%. Whatever you have chosen, stay there. And we'll be going through 3 more breaths on our own. Beautiful. Let's slowly start to rise back up. You can roll the head. Take your time. Make it gentle. Do about 3 circles in each direction. And we'll just shimmy out the shoulders however we can. I like to shake off energy off my hands. I always feel like doing this really helps get out stagnant energy and just energy that doesn't feel so great. And then we'll be slowly coming forward towards the front of the mat, placing the feet together back in Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. From here, we're just going to start with the spine straight, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and then you may walk the hands forward, slowly folding down. I challenge you to try to keep the lower back as straight as possible. Keep the head pointing towards the front, and then once you feel like your back is about to round, that's where you stop and you tuck the chin in towards the chest. 3 deep belly breaths. And slowly come up to rise, seated. Now we're going to slowly lower down onto the back. We're not going into Skandasana just yet, almost there. But we will be placing the feet further than hip width distance apart. So the feet are not exactly under the hips. They're further out to the sides than that. And then we want to move our toes in, heels out. Once we have that, then we bring the knees in towards each other. If the knees don't touch naturally, then just bring your feet closer in just slightly and then find that sweet spot where the knees naturally just use each other for support. Once you find that, make sure you're tucking your tailbone down. There's barely any space between the back and the floor. Option to have the hands on each side, palms facing up or palms facing down if you feel more protective of your energy today. Facing up is always more allowing energy in, being open to things. So whatever you're feeling right now, you also have the option of placing one hand over the heart and the other over the belly, the lower belly. And wherever you're at, shimmy the shoulders underneath slightly, tuck your chin in towards your chest. And return to the deep belly breaths. If you have your hands over your upper body, you may be able to feel the breath as your inhales increase the space within your chest cavity. And contracting when we exhale. We'll be taking about 5 deep breaths in total here. So take your time. A reminder to unclench the teeth, the jaw, to relax the eyes and the head, to relax the forehead, the ears, the scalp, the tongue. Let's take our last 2 breaths, exhaling out the mouth for these 2. So inhale, fill the lungs, sip in a little bit more air at the top. Open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time. Inhale. Sip in a little bit more air once again. And exhale. That was beautiful. Go ahead and smile. A release is always such a nice thing. And we'll be moving into our Shavasana finally, lowering our heels towards the corners of the mat, lowering our arms down. And this is where I welcome you to use an eye mask. So if you did grab one, you may do so. You may also grab an essential oil. I wanted peppermint and your water, a sip of water. All right. So as we're gonna stay here for just a short amount of time, I like to place a little bit of essential oil in the back of my ears, a little under my nose, and then on my wrist. That way I'm gonna smell it in Shavasana, and then essentially placing the eye mask over the eyes. And we'll rest. You have the option to place a pillow under the head here, if you would like. If not, when you're ready, close down the eyes. If you don't have an eye mask, you can always just use a blanket, a bandana. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So as we're laying here in Shavasana, we're going to use the power of the mind once again to tackle our theme today. And we're going to do some deep belly breaths. And every time we do this, I want you to imagine you're inhaling really magical, helpful air. Air that helps to rejuvenate. H2O that helps water turning into air. You're literally breathing in magic that can help instantaneously recover. And this is what we're doing. We're just using our imagination here. We were using visuals today. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine all the bad energy, anything that may be causing this discomfort today. I want you to imagine that literally coming out of the pores of your body. It's being squeezed out of your soul. You're being released of this illness, of this pain. And the more you imagine it, the more you visualize it, the more this will help. But the illness is not a part of you. It is completely separate. And if this is actually bringing more anxiety for you, you're welcome to just allow the body to melt down into the floor instead, visualizing the body fully melting like a lollipop, like a popsicle on a hot summer day. Always bringing your reminder to the breath, bringing your attention to the exhales, allowing the body to release. Allowing and giving permission to the body to relax fully. Without the permission, our body is unsure. With our eyes still closed, stay in this stillness, in this silence. And before we fall too deep into the abyss, I welcome you to pause this live. If you would like to stay in Shavasana longer, you may pause and finish up later. If not, you can finish up with me right now, all together. We'll begin by wiggling the fingertips, the toes, slowly bringing sensation back into the body, rocking the head gently side to side. And eventually extend the arms overhead, point the toes, take a nice big stretch. And tucking the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around, pulling your nose in towards the knees. And you may rock over to one side of your choice, to the right, to the left. Use your arm as a pillow. And slowly come up into the seated position. Thank you so much. Go ahead and place your palms together in prayer. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. The light in me honors that same light in you, because we're all the same. Namaste. I loved that. You may take the time to sit in silence, sit in peace, if you'd like, for a little longer. But other than that, drink a lot of water, especially if you're having any head pain. But I appreciate you all so, so much. My name is Anik, if you don't know me already. And something huge I also want to mention is that Gentle Stretching, as you may know already, they have their own website, and there is a program tailored specifically to headaches, to migraine relief. Therefore, I highly recommend checking it out. And it does go a little different from mine. So that way you can always have something different, something to look forward to. And they have a lot of other programs as well. I really highly recommend checking it out because it is good, high quality content and information. It's very educational. And if this helped at all, even 1%, I am so happy to be a part of your day, to be a part of any healing at all. And I appreciate you all so much for coming out. Thank you all. I love you. Ciao.